It's your bestie, Miss Westy. We about to get messy. Messy. Yes, let's get it, everybody. Billie Lee came out against Tom Sandoval and his girlfriend Victoria, and then his girlfriend Victoria did a real hot mess express, kind of trying to drag Billie Lee. It is juicy, and we're going to get into it. You're listening to No Filter with Zach Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. Whew! Welcome on in. What's going on, everybody? I know we normally don't have Saturday episodes, but the tea was just too good to pass up, right? When there's a hot, juicy headline and we love mess, right? It's Saturday, we're having a little wine. It's your bestie, Miss Westy. Listen, when the tea is good, you have to do an emergency podcast episode. Everyone in the live chat is like, what? We're live on okay. Let's from the top make it drop. That's some wet and gushy, right? Let's start at the beginning. Okay. Billie Lee went on her podcast and she did it with Sloppy Joe, who was Schwartz's ex. And listen, I had a lot of feelings about that. And I was like, it felt a little thirsty, right? I just want to say I'm equal opportunist, right? I have no skin in the game. I haven't always been a fan of Billie Lee on Vanderpump Rules. She's been very nice to me in the last 24 hours. Kyle Chan is someone that I've become pretty close with over the past few months. Adore Kyle Chan. Was actually texting Kyle Chan just a little while ago telling him, listen, the interview y'all did was not good. So let's take it back to the beginning. Billie Lee went on her podcast, Billie and the Kid, with Sloppy Joe. Not a fan of Sloppy Joe. And Billie talked about why she's no longer friends with Tom Sandoval, right? Just to recap, we talked about it on Thursday's episode of the podcast, but for those of you that need a little refresher, she talks about why she's not friends with Tom Sandoval anymore. Basically, it has to do with his girlfriend, Victoria, which she believes is a bad influence on Tom Sandoval. She claims that he started drinking again. And the main piece of the story with Billie Lee is she says that Victoria wanted Tom to move into the primary bedroom of the house that he shares with Ariana, which to me sounds like a totally legit valid story, right? New girlfriend moves into the house. Ex-girlfriend's stuff is still in the primary there anymore. Technically owns the home, but is not staying there, is not living there. Tom Sandoval is fighting for the home. He's still, living in the home. So it makes sense. Victoria's now denying the story, but it does make sense when you put your thinking cap on and think about it critically, right? Okay, cool. Billie said that was the story. Victoria wanted Tom to move all of Ariana's stuff out. Tom, apparently, according to Billie, contacts Logan. Logan, I guess, I'm assuming they end up taking Ariana's stuff, moving it out of the primary bedroom so that Tom could move into the primary bedroom because he still wants to live in the house. She doesn't want to, right? There we go. Also, sounds like a very valid story. If you're the new bitch that's moving into the house, you're going to be like, I don't want this old chick stuff in the house that we're staying in. It's weird. I want a bigger bedroom. I want a bigger bed. Like, why does she get to keep the primary bedroom if she's no longer staying here? It sounds valid. Yes, we are live, Christopher. Surprise. So that story, okay, it felt a little thirsty that we're going to go on the podcast and talk about this, but you know what? We all got to make a buck. A dollar makes me holler. Billie wanted to get her downloads. Okay, cool, right? Fast forward. Then we get to Victoria. She goes on her Instagram story and she's like, snap, no, but that's not true. Yada, yada, yada. The truth will come out. Dun, dun, dun. The truth, all will be revealed. Secrets revealed. Andy Cohen special, right? Okay, Victoria. Tom Sandoval, meanwhile, is off filming The Traitors, okay? He's in Scotland with Ellen Cummings, and I don't know if he has any clue that this shit is going down. Right? Now, fast forward. She then decides to do a live interview with none other than my bestie, Up and Adam. Okay? Now, let me remind everybody of Adam's resume, right? Because he's had some really hard-hitting interviews, right? He interviewed Jen Shaw to talk about her innocence before she went before a judge and pled guilty and is now in prison. So that was a good one. Oh, Wake Up with Adam. That's right. Wake Up with Adam. That's what Billie Lee called him, because she went on her, which is the first time I had heard that they were doing this interview, was when Billie went on her, I guess, Instagram. And she's like, I heard that Victoria is going to go on Wake Up with Adam and she's going to do an exclusive tell-all. Can't wait, right? So she went on Wake Up with Adam. And she went with Kyle Chan. And my heart literally broke when Kyle got dragged into this mess. And again, I texted Kyle this morning. I was like, yo, next time before you do something like this, I will give you a little bit of advice, because I have my thoughts as an interviewer, which I will give in a little bit, right? We'll get into that separately, but let's get into what went down on this live interview that still exists to this day. It was a 90-minute interview that they decided to put out there. But so Victoria goes on Wake Up with Adam with Kyle Chan. It's live. And Victoria's like, I'm coming with receipts, proof, timeline, everything to prove Billie Lee wrong. And so the first chunk of the interview is like, well, how do you know Tom? And where did you meet Tom? And how are you guys friends with Tom? And it's like, okay, backstory. We want to make sure that we know who these people are, right? I mean, she's the new girlfriend. There's not much more to figure out, right? Kyle Chan's Tom's friend. Not much. It's not that deep, right? We don't need the whole, unabridged edition of how they met and how they all know each other. They're friends, they're banging, whatever, right? But the entire interview goes into it. I felt like somebody pulled me into the back alley of Sir, and I was on a fucking Vanderpump acid trip. It was so cuckoo crazy. It was like, because they go on these weird conspiracy. First of all, I'm just going to say it. Victoria did not look like she was all there. Okay. So thank God Kyle Chan was there to kind of try to drive the train, because Adam was very much losing control of that train. It was going left and right. And I think we even took a few dips along the way, because they couldn't actually get to what the story was or what they were actually saying. And there were no receipts. There was no proof. They're saying that everything that Billie Lee said is true. Victoria's like, I have nothing but respect for Ariana. They're saying Billie's a big liar. And not only do they say that Billie's a big liar, but then they put in all these like weird conspiracy theories about Billie, which is really interesting, because they go on to accuse that, or they go on to say that Billie accused Kyle Chan of trying to put Tom Sandoval under the influence to Billie Lee's story about how the new girlfriend wants the old girlfriend's shit out of the house. That makes sense. Kyle Chan, trying to pull a Hugh Hefner and take advantage of Tom Sandoval was a wild accusation to throw out there. And they're saying that Billie Lee made this accusation. But my favorite part is when they say that Billie Lee made this accusation, Victoria's like, and I have the footage. She's like, there's footage. We were in the kitchen and there was a camera and it happened with Mr. Johnson and the candlestick, right? And so I'm watching this and I'm like, okay. And Adam's like, well, if there's footage and there's video of it, then that means it must have happened, right? You can't dispute the footage where she says it on camera. And then Victoria goes in this long roundabout merry-go-round, basically to take us to the end of it, where she says, oh yeah, it wasn't actually recorded. There was a camera in the kitchen, and I thought the camera was filming our entire conversation, but the camera never caught any of that on camera. Like, it was never filmed. And I'm like, the fuck? So then why did we talk about how we have the proof and the proof is in the pudding, it's on the camera, and then the camera wasn't recording? Like, what was the whole point in spending 10 minutes talking about how there was a camera in the kitchen and it caught Billie Lee saying these things on camera, only to then say the footage doesn't exist? What? The glove doesn't fit on OJ's hand? What are we talking about? Like, what in the what? So not only did Kyle Chan, was he accused of trying to take advantage of Tom Sandoval, which was weird. But then, Billie, I don't know. It was, again, like I said, an acid trip in the back alley of Sir. I don't know if anybody else watched it, but Victoria couldn't formulate a single thought or sentence. Some people were alluding to the fact that she may have been out of it. I like how you have a pen in your hand, because I'm a professional journalist, Christopher. I'm a professional, okay? This is what we do. We take notes. This is the longest I've ever watched of an Adam, to be honest with you. But again, come on. Not only did he interview Jen Shah to prove, prove her innocence before she went and pled guilty before a judge and is now in prison, but let's not forget the Lenny mistress interview. He interviewed Lenny Hochstein's mistress in the house that Lenny Hochstein kicked his wife and children out of. And then Adam went, oop, Control Alt Delete. Let's pretend that didn't happen. And then when the internet called him out about it, he was like, oh, I just, I had a change of thought. I had I felt like it was the wrong thing to do. You filmed the mistress in the house and your promo was her strutting down the hall that used to belong to Lisa Hochstein before Lenny cheated on her and kicked her and the kids out of the house. Okay. Let's not forget that. Let's roll back the resume. Jen Shah, Lenny's mistress, Mary Cosby's mom, Mary Cosby's grandma, and then, Victoria Lee Robinson, Tom Sandoval's girlfriend. Now, the reason this looked so bad, not from Adam's perspective necessarily, but from Victoria doing this, is Tom Sandoval is off filming The Traitors, right? Listen, it's one thing if you want to say, oh, Billie Lee is thirsty or whatever. She had a falling out with Tom Sandoval. She's talked about this on her podcast. Whether that's thirsty or not, it's a little thirsty, but she's entitled to do that. Victoria, however, is still dating Tom Sandoval. So the fact that she did an exclusive interview on a YouTube show while her man is literally sequestered filming the next season of The Traitors, and she wants to tell us that she wants no part of this Vanderpump world, it looks bad. It makes her look thirsty. Kyle Chan was spinning all sorts. Like, he was trying to get the train back on track because Adam didn't know how to drive them, which again is why you shouldn't do this as a live interview. And I even told Kyle, like, what you guys should have done if you wanted to tell your side of the story is get the receipts, proof, timeline, have all the screenshots ready, and pre-record a video. It didn't need to be an interview. It could have just been her and you if you wanted to help guide her. It could have been you guys doing the video, put it on her Instagram, right? Because then all the Bravo bloggers and whatever, they're all still going to pick it up regardless, right? But having to tune into a 90-minute, merry-go-round live stream about what the fuck are we talking about is weird. People thought that Victoria was under the influence because her eyes, she was kind of out of it. She couldn't formulate a single sentence. She was slurring a little bit. At one point, she's like on her phone and then is like, I have to go pee. She has to go pee. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? She gets up and it was strange. It was weird. As an interviewer, I will say this. If you're going to have somebody that comes on your show that wants to do an exclusive tell-all interview, you have to do a pre-interview. You can't do this shit live. You have to do a pre-interview. You have to find out exactly what the tea is that they're trying to spill, because if they're going to give you some low-budget tea, you don't want to put that out and then you put it out on a live stream. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's already out there. You can't just, Control Alt Delete like you did to the Lenny Mistress interview and think that it's just going to go away. No, baby, you better believe I'm going to talk about it. So, what is the Kristen tea? What tea about Kristen do you want? I hear Kristen's trying to get Kyle Chan to get on her podcast. Zach, we needed this. I'm curious what your thoughts are about, because from my takeaways from this interview, we didn't get a whole lot of any. Oh, not only do they accuse Kyle Chan, they say Billie Lee accused Kyle Chan of trying to take advantage of Tom Sandoval, but then they say that Billie Lee wanted to have Tom Sandoval's baby. And not only did she want Tom Sandoval's baby, but she wanted Tom Sandoval's last name as well. I'm like, yo, she's going to be like, this is the middle of the biggest scandal ever, where nobody wants any association with Sandoval. And yet all of a sudden she wants to have his baby and his name. Like, literally, what? It was truly, truly bonkers. Cuckoo magoo. Whether it was true or not, it just sounded so. The fact that they couldn't formulate a sentence, the fact that they had no real receipts, the fact that they're like, there's video footage. Oh, wait, the footage doesn't exist because the camera was never recording. All of it's just like, what is the truth? Like, again, Billie Lee's story. I have not always been a fan of Billie. I've been very critical of her on Vanderpump Rules, but I'm equal opportunist. I always try to look at everything from an objective perspective. I like to look at both sides. From looking at this, the Victoria interview was messy. She looked under the influence. it looked thirsty because Tom was out of town and he probably doesn't even know that she did this. She did it with a Bravo YouTuber, which is true. That's what he does. He has a YouTube channel. That's his most successful platform. And all he does is cover Bravo news, right? I like to say I'm not a Bravo podcast. I'm not a Bravo influencer because I have 3 successful podcasts that are in the Apple Top 100. I had a career in writing prior to this, a career in nonprofit fundraising prior to this, and I continue to take on multiple projects outside of my podcast and outside of the Bravo world. So wouldn't put myself in that same category. But again, what I would do, you have a pre-interview. From Adam's perspective, you have a pre-interview, you get all the facts, you get all the notes. You're like, okay, what is the tea? What are you trying to dispute? What are the crazy accusations? Because you have to be prepared for that as well. And when you start to hear some of these cuckoo crazy accusations, that's when you're like, okay, I need to know when to not broach those topics because that sounds too cuckoo crazy. Or in the moment where it sounds cuckoo crazy, you get all of the details. And then from getting all of the details, then you start to formulate which questions to ask so that you can actually help your guest articulate what they're trying to say without sounding like a cuckoo crazy conspiracy theorist that's on drugs. Okay. Kyle Chan, blink twice if you're in danger. I felt so bad because I texted him this morning. I was like, yo, that interview was not it. And he's like, I appreciate your honesty. I'm like, it was just bad. I was like, next time you are going to think about doing this again, like with anyone, not specifically with Adam, because even if they wanted to do it with Adam, I still would have given them pointers to be like, okay, this is what you guys should do. Regardless of my personal feelings or relationship with Adam, I would still be like, if you want to be, because I do like Kyle Chan, right? He is a nice guy. I'd be like, listen, if you guys want, I would not do the interview. I will say that very clearly. I would not have conducted this interview. I would have turned it down. But if they were going to do it, I would have been like, okay, what did you guys think of the interview? Because I mean, the bombshell accusations, the roundabout stories, the lack of cohesion, the lack of receipts, is just. Even though the interview was a mess, the live chat was fun. There was a lot of content creators in there, and also Billie Lee. I was watching that live chat, and they were all this is how you know that you really fumbled the ball, because when you're on your YouTube channel and everybody in the live stream is dragging your interview, that shows it's a shit show. Because if you were watching that live chat, which I watched at least a good 45 minutes. I didn't watch the last 45 because at some point I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I caught, other recaps and stuff. But Victoria literally didn't finish her sentence once. She didn't. She didn't. And then she had to go pee. Like, it was weird. It was very, very strange. All I got from it was that Billie Lee wants Tom's sperm in his last name. Yeah. That, and then the taking advantage part, I don't want to say it, but they accused him of doing the Hugh Hefner. Adam's facial expressions were giving get me out of this shit again, which is why you do a pre-interview and try to make sure that you know what information is going to be shared so that you can help your guest articulate that. And also, when you see Kyle Chan is talking too much, then you direct a question that's very specific to Victoria that hits one of the talking points that she wants to get across. Again, it's not that hard to conduct a good interview. Live is not the way to do it. However, it was rough. Someone please send Adam a memo to turn off whatever filter he uses. It's so distractingly smooth. I don't know what filter he uses. Love the shade. Wake Up with Adam is known for. Oh, I'm not gonna. That was not a nice comment. Like, I was so lost. How is Billie Lee gonna actually have Tom's baby? I think Adam was watching the live chat. I hope he was watching the live chat because it was looking rough. They certainly got attention. I guess there's that. Kyle should have just started selling jewelry like QVC. He should have. Did they get the attention? Like, did they get what they were hoping to get across? Because I think they were hoping to make Billie look like she was crazy. But in the end, I feel like it had the opposite effect. And it didn't make Billie look like she was crazy. It made them look like it made Victoria look really bad for a multitude of reasons, we're not going to talk about Adam's looks. Because you guys are making comments and we don't do that. Victoria's trying to divert from people knowing that she's with a whoop. Ooh, those are not nice. I believe that the truth is Billie wanting Tom's baby. Listen, it's possible, right? Zack, stop it. It validates Billie Lee. It totally validates Billie Lee. That's what I just said. in regard to Billie wanting the baby. That seems valid, right? Um, I mean, listen, as a single man that's also, gonna have to go a non-traditional route of having a baby when I wanna have kids, I've certainly thought of, like, certain friends that, may potentially be surrogates or whatever. Like, those are those are things that happen, and those are conversations that you do have. Um, I'm sure that there maybe was a conversation about possibly having a baby, or about, like, before you go to a sperm bank, like, sometimes you do kind of look at your friends and see, like, is there someone in my life that I wouldn't mind that maybe doesn't want a child, but, like, or maybe what, like, I don't know, modern family these days, right? Think about why she was so quick to have his back after Sandoval. Because she's his friend. I've often said that, like, the people that showed up in Tom Sandoval's by his side, I would have done that for if my friend fucked up, I would be upset with my friend. I would hold him accountable, but I would still be by his side. That doesn't mean that I want to have his baby. I think that that's standard. That's a friend. Did Billie not have sperm? I'm confused. Well, she is trans, so she does not have sperm. And even if she did have sperm, why would she want to? And, like, I don't know. She wants Tom all to herself. I don't know. I feel like people came out with either Billie wants Tom all to herself, or Kyle Chan wants Tom all to herself, or Victoria wants Tom all to herself. It was just very strange. There were no clear answers. It was messy. Messy, messy, messy. Is your bestie. She was his friend. I would have had my friends back. Yeah, that's called being a good friend. It seems very manipulative to have your friends back when he's going through a mega scandal. I don't think that that's manipulative. We never saw her give interviews back then. We never saw her, like, I don't feel like she was really doing anything to, I don't know what would have been manipulative about that. She just seems manipulative. Sure. I mean, that's an opinion that you're allowed to have. Adam lost control of the interview, and he was allowing Victoria to control when the clips of Billie would stop for discussion. It was just rough. Also, I don't get why we had to play those clips, or what the point of those clips were. It also it deflected from what was happening in the interview, and it also gave Billie an opportunity to share her side of the story again. Again, what I would have done in that situation, been like, Billie Lee said XYZ. What is your response to that? Billie Lee claims that you wanted Ariana's stuff out of the primary bedroom. Is that true? Because it would be understandable, as the new girlfriend coming in, that you would think that it would make sense for her no longer to have the primary bedroom. That's valid. And here's the other thing. I don't think Billie is pulling this out of her ass. So I would ask, which part, like, at some point, you got to get Victoria to admit that there's a fabric of truth in that. Whatever that fabric is, if she's able to give you that truth, because here's the thing, she can be like, listen, Tom did want the primary bedroom, and I agreed with him. Did I agree that he took stuff out of the room? No. Did I agree that he, like, touched her stuff or whatever? No. But, like, at least tell us which part of the story is true, so that we know, oh, here's the fabric of truth that Billie Lee is then exaggerating. We didn't get any of that. They just called Billie Lee a liar and then gave us these other cuckoo crazy circus stories. It was wild. I was like, "Do, do, 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 do." I was like, "Am I living in Joe's head? What is happening right now?" I feel like no girl is good enough for Tom, according to Billie. Possibly. Listen, I'm not ruling out the fact that Billie may have feelings for Tom. I'm not ruling that out either. I'm just saying, objectively, these are my thoughts of what's played out online. I'm not here to speak about Billie's friendship with Tom. Meanwhile, Ariana's laughing her ass off on Love Island. Literally, Ariana is like, what a fucking shit show. I'm doing Love Island. Something about her is thriving. Like, Ariana is living her best life. And she's like, thank God I got off that crazy train. Because, like, this is all like dust behind Ariana at this point. What are your thoughts about the intervention? Okay, so that was another big accusation that Billie Lee made on her podcast, was that things were so bad and that she decided to have an intervention at Kyle Chan's store. And so we kind of get Kyle addressing this a little bit, like, to an extent ish, but I guess Billie was trying to have some sort of meeting where, a few people get together that were concerned about Tom. They get together, and they happen to get together at Kyle Chan's store, right? Billie is now referring to this as an intervention. Kyle, from what I gathered, is like from what I gathered, Kyle was like, yes, Billie was concerned and she contacted me and wanted to organize something at my store. So I was, it seemed like Kyle was kind of open to the idea of like Billie's concerns, like maybe we do something. Like it didn't seem like in Kyle's mind it was an intervention. And I also think Billie using the word intervention was taken a bit out of context because she, in that live chat yesterday, was saying, she's like, I was never saying that he had a drinking problem. I was never saying that he had a drug problem. She's like, I never made those claims or accusations against Tom. She just said an intervention in the sense of all of us getting together to like kind of talk some sense into him. And they wanted to intentionally leave Victoria out. And I do think Victoria's maybe not the best for Tom, right? I've had my concerns about Dan and Ariana. Anybody that inserts themselves into this past year of Sandoval, knowing how big this drama is, anybody that puts themselves into that line of fire, I have questions. So I question Victoria just as much as I question Dan. I think both of them I have questions about because, again, you're inserting yourself into a very public scandal and you're getting enthralled in all of this. And whether or not you really like these people or you want to date them or whatever, you also have to realize in the midst of this big scandal, there's going to be some level of trauma that they're going through that they're going to have to process at some point. That means that maybe they're not in the best headspace or in the best heart space to be in a healthy relationship at this time. So, that's sad. Hi, R Tab. Pamela B says it's not an intervention if you tell the world about it before it happens. But she didn't tell the world about it before it happens. She's talking about it after the fact. She said that she was planning an intervention. Tom didn't show up to that intervention. And now she's talking about it after the fact. Indy Rabbit says Tom clearly, if what Billie is saying is true, was triangulating Billie and Victoria. Probably. Michelle says Dan would never hear some shit on a podcast and then hop on a Wake Up with Adam to serve up a bunch of a word salad. I agree. Dan doesn't seem like he wants to be a part of this at all. Again, but I stand by what I said a little earlier. These two did a favor to Billie. They really did. Bravo Brush. They did Billie. And I told Kyle Chan that this morning. I said, if anything, you did Billie a favor and she came off so much better than what I think you guys were expecting. He said that Victoria was just nervous. What do you think of Tom's reaction will be? Oh, that's going to be a hard one. That's really going to be a hard one. I don't know if Tom is going to like this. I think they're going to be filming Traitors for a couple of weeks, so it's possible that he doesn't hear any of this until after the fact, and by that point it blows over. But like I said, if this were my partner and I were off in another country working and I find out that my partner's doing exclusives and fighting with somebody that I've had a falling out with, and I would not be happy about that at all. I would not be happy about that. I'd be like, this is weird. This feels like you want to be part of this world, even though Victoria says she doesn't want to be part of this world. Well, I wonder what Tom's PR team is doing right now. I don't know. Does he still have a PR team right now? Do you think Kyle will really sue Billie Lee? No, I don't think anybody's going to sue Billie Lee. I don't think anybody's going to sue anybody. He posted about the interview 30 minutes before. Tom Sandoval posted about the interview. Does Tom Sandoval have his phone? Or, because remember, they're sequestered and they're not always allowed to have their phone. So, does Tom Sandoval have his phone, or does somebody have access to Tom Sandoval's Instagram account? That's my question. Hi, Zach, watching from Perth, Western Australia. It's 4:45 a.m. That's how much I love watching you. Aw, thank you. Love the face heart. Thank you, Francine. Indy Rabbit says Tom may be fanning the flames to make it a storyline for next season. There's no next season. As of right now, everything's on pause. Will Sheena get in trouble since Alex Baskin said that she's been fabricating the truth and blaming producers? I don't think Sheena will get in trouble. And from what I have seen about that, Alex didn't say that Sheena's fabricating the truth and blaming producers. Alex said that what Sheena revealed on her podcast was a bit of an exaggeration. right? So Sheena went on her podcast and said that the producers basically told them if they don't make up with Tom Sandoval, that the season would essentially be a wrap. They would have an early season and that they would likely not have a season to follow, right? Like they needed to have some sort of resolution. Otherwise, the cast was just completely disconjointed. So Alex Baskin said, That's not exactly what I said. He's like, Sheena's exaggerating that. Do I think she'll get in trouble for that? No. But yeah, I don't think, I don't think that Sheena's gonna have any real ramifications. I think that there was a fabric of truth to that. I'm sure that there was some allusion. They were alluding to the fact that, like, listen, if you guys don't have some sort of resolution, if you guys don't do something, like the season's going to be boring. There's not going to be a lot of content for us to film. So we're going to have to wrap up early. And if we wrap up early and the season flops, then guess what? There's probably not going to be another season to follow. So the cast was like, all right, we got to show up and do our thing. Annie says, a little jealous that you didn't get the interview. Quit slamming Adam, Zack. First of all, I gave very critical analysis of what Adam could have done to better approach this interview. And two, I just said 5 minutes ago, I would not conduct this interview. And I also said, if you were paying attention earlier, which I don't think you were, I also said that I gave Kyle Chan pointers on what they should have done, which was not do an interview, not do a live interview. And also, what they should have done was got together their facts and their receipts and done a video that they could have filmed and edited if they needed to edit anything out. But they could have been very clear about what they were doing. If you think that I'm jealous of that shit show, I'm good. Like, let's see, my Rolodex, my resume comes with an Erica Jane interview, which was an exclusive that I only released one part of and still beat his ratings for his Jen Shaw interview, a Jenny McCarthy interview, a Stassi Schroeder interview. Like, I've had a lot of really impressive interviews. I don't need Lenny's Mistress, Jen Shaw's pre-prison interview, or Victoria Lee Robinson, who's Tom Sandoval's current girlfriend. I think I'm good, Annie. Thank you. Did you get Rachel vibes from Victoria in terms of stumbling her words? I just think she was a bit nervous. I don't think you slammed Adam. The comments are, but you are not. I didn't slam. I don't think I slammed Adam. He wouldn't even read the nasty comments others were saying about Adam. When people were, I said, don't make negative comments about his looks. Thank you for clarifying that. I forgot about that. It's a popular moment right now. A lot of people are talking about it. Thank you, Kat. Okay, well, let's move on from Annie. I wanted to hate the Erica interview, but I didn't. Thank you. Listen, that's what I like to do, is take somebody that's a little polarizing and maybe get you to see a different side of them. Let's see. Would you be open to having Billie Lee on? No, I don't want any part of this mess. Like I said, I've been critical of Billie in the past. This to me is messy, you know? It's not. I want to be more mindful about the interviews that I do moving forward, and I don't want any part of this. That's why, like I said, when I was texting Kyle this morning, I was like, listen, this is how you should approach it, or you should have approached it moving forward. And I told him my advice to him now, because I guess Victoria may be getting in her head about it because the feedback has not been good since that interview came out. And I said, listen, this will die down. Give it a week. Nobody's going to be talking about it. They'll move on to something else, you know? So, and that's the thing. Like, they don't have, like, just let it die down, because the more Victoria inserts herself into this drama, the more she looks thirsty and the more she looks like she wants to be a part of this world, which she claims that she doesn't. So if she wants to prove that she wants no part of this, don't pay attention to it. And I told her, I was like, listen, she doesn't need to be part of this drama or this world unless she wants to be like on Vanderpump Rules, which she's claiming she doesn't. So, you know, don't read the comments. Don't look at the Bravo sphere. Don't look what fans are saying on Twitter. Focus on your relationship and if your relationship is in a good place, if your relationship is healthy, boom. No, I would not. And everyone's asking if I would interview Billie Lee. I would not interview Billie Lee. She also has her own podcast that she can do all on her own. I think that's a smarter strategy for her, is to just put all the info out on her own podcast. She doesn't need to do any interviews. Let her get those downloads for herself. Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of Erica Jane, did you? Oh no. Sorry, somebody said speaking of Erica Jane, and then I missed the comment. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can scroll up to find it. You're being too kind. Victoria wasn't just nervous; she was nonsensical. Listen, I'm not saying she was nervous. I'm saying that's what Kyle told me, was that she was just nervous. You made up with Adam? No, I have not made up with Adam. I at this point have no one. At this point, I'm kind of over that. Hold on, let me fix the camera. No, I have not made up with Adam. I wish Billie Lee was on Vanderpump more. She's good TV. I disagree. I mean, she was good TV, yes, but I don't think I need more of her on Vanderpump Rules. Victoria made no sense during the interview. No, she did not. What do you think of Schwartz unfollowing Victoria? I think that that also adds credibility to what Billie was saying, that people are concerned about Tom being in this relationship with Victoria, and maybe she isn't the best. Maybe this isn't the healthiest situation. The only person I didn't want to see platformed is Joe. Yeah, I'm good on Joe. I'm ready to move on. Joe seems a little cuckoo crazy. You're looking so buff. Oh, thank you. I'll be up in the gym working on my fitness. Look at that. I work out. I work out. Mm, mm, You guys, I ran 6.3 miles today. Oof, 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 oof. Sorry. Now I'm just flexing on myself. I ran 3.5 miles, or not 3.5, 6.3 miles this morning. I was like, in like 42 minutes, 43 minutes. I was like, fast. Yeah. Barbara, you're so fun. You're so fun. You blow my mind. Do you believe the lies about Kenya? Well, first of all, it sounds like you already have a biased perspective, because that's what everybody wants to say. Zack, you're biased. Like, everybody's biased, baby. If you didn't have an opinion and you didn't have bias, that would mean you're a robot. Duh. Kenya Moore. So yeah, let's touch on that. So Kenya Moore was accused of, I guess there's a new cast member on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kenya Moore was hosting an event, and at the event, she was accused of showing this new cast member sucking some D. Okay, they were doing a little fellatio. And apparently Kenya revealed pictures, and Page Six reported that they confirmed that Kenya, I guess, was showing these explicit photos of this new cast member that was not present at Kenya's event, right? And so then there were rumors that the cast member was there and pulled a gun on Kenya, yada yada yada. Those are false rumors, because Page Six went out and disputed those rumors and said that that is not true. That nobody, there was no gun, there was no threat, but that Kenya did reveal these pictures, according to Page Six. Now Kenya's come out and she's like, nope, that's not true. I did not engage in any revenge porn. She's like, I can't talk about the storyline because we're currently filming, but just know I'm always vindicated, and she feels confident that she'll be vindicated again in the end. So, ooh. Wild, wild, wild. It sounds like, listen, it does sound pretty wild though. It's not even Joe's craziness and her thirst, it's her thirstiness to be relevant. Yeah. If anybody, Joe does seem really relevant. She's doing Rachel's podcast, she's doing all these Instagram lives, she's doing Billie's podcast. You know, she's talking about Schwartz nonstop, and I'm like, oh my God. Janice in the live chat. Thank you for becoming a member, my love. We have Danny Gossip Gal with a $5 super sticker. Let's get it, girl. Get it, girl. To the front, to the right, to the back, girl. It's your night. We have code name is Jane with a super sticker. Thank you. Code name is Jane. Hey. And then we also have Jen Knoll 2013 with a super chat, and her super chat says, has Kyle been released from his kidnappers as of today? That was a hostage video. I felt bad because I really felt like Kyle was trying to get the train back on track, and it was just are there any new shows coming to Bravo? Yes, I have heard that there are some new shows coming to Bravo, or some new cities of shows that we may already know that I've heard about. Can't tell you which ones they are because I've been sworn to secrecy, but they're working on new content. That new girl responded. She said Kenya did display photos of her there. Listen, if Page Six confirmed it, that means somebody there said something, or like somebody there saw something and they said something to Page Six. If Page Six was able to publish that story and confirm it. If let's see. Um, if anything, we're talking about Vanderpump, we will see this crap on the new season. I doubt it because they're not filming right now. They're taking a break. So I think months down the line when they pick up filming again, this is going to be old news by next week. Like this is going to be done. That's why I figured I don't even need to talk about it on Monday's episode of the podcast because come Monday, this is going to be old news. But at least, we have something we can chat about it all now. Victoria had the slow choppiness of Rachel Raquel and the incoherence of Joe, the worst of both sides. Ooh, that's not good. Christopher said, dropped a super chat. He said, because I love you. Thank you, Christopher. Love you too. What do you think of the OC trailer? Oh my God, Aaron D. I'm so glad you asked about this because it's so good. The OC trailer is so good. I cannot wait. I am so excited. Oof. The OC trailer. Ugh. The Shannon Bedore, the Alexis versus Shannon, where she's like, I have your ex-boyfriend, Shannon Bedore. There's the door. Shannon Bedore. I was like, ooh. And then you see Shannon. I don't know if you guys caught this, but in the scene where Shannon's blowing into her breathalyzer, if you look at the top corner, you can see Archie looking off to the side, like just like side eyeing her as she blows into the breathalyzer to get her car started. The Tamara holding Shannon accountable. Oh my God. And the opening of the trailer, can we talk about that? Teddy Mellencamp. I know some people are mad about it, but I'm like, literally, that's the one moment people can't stop talking about. That's why they did it, because they knew that people wouldn't stop talking about it. Where she's like, welcome, housewives, and Vicky. So good. And then Heather's like, that was rude. And feels like, she's such a fucking bitch. It's like, Vicky. Oh, she's so good. So good. I saw somebody tweeted because there was also a clip in the trailer where Vicky talks about how like we don't treat women like this. And then somebody's like, I love that Vicky's talking about how we don't treat women like this when she literally terrorized every single woman on that show for 14 seasons. And I was like, it's true. Listen, Teddy knows how to get people up in arms, and that she did. People are losing it over Teddy. They really are, and Teddy stays winning as a result of it. I've not watched the trailer. It's so good. How did you guys miss the OC trailer? It's out. Go watch it. It's so good. Oh, amazing. Okay, any closing thoughts before we wrap? Oh, I'll be up in the oof. I've been doing the 100 push-ups a day challenge. So every day I try to do 100 push-ups, and my God, my back, my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. My neck, my back, my pussy. I'm glad that people are not like hating on Kyle Chan as a result of that interview yesterday, because I do adore Kyle. Is Joe De La Rosa making an appearance? Yes, I believe she makes a cameo. I don't know how deep her cameo will be, but I believe we do see her. Did you hear Lindsay is pregnant? Did you know that I was the first to report that? And then Sheena got mad at me. See, this should have been a members only because I'm drinking wine and I'm spilling tea. But yes, I did hear that Lindsay is pregnant, but I heard that weeks ago. And I also confirmed it from another reporter at another big media agency. Listen, here's the thing. Not only do I have friends that are other podcasters and content creators, I have friends that are legit reporters. They were hearing about this. We were all talking about it. I don't know if it's true that Lindsay's pregnant because I do know that Lindsay has denied being pregnant and her rep has denied being pregnant. So I just want to say that they have denied it that Lindsay is pregnant, but I was hearing that Lindsay was supposed to be on this season of Traitors and not Sierra, and that part of the reason they didn't want the pregnancy news out was because they wanted to make sure she was able to participate in the Traitors, which you can't do if you're pregnant because there are physical challenges. I don't know if she's pregnant. I don't. I just want to say that I do not know whether she is or she isn't. I've heard from other people that she is, and I've also heard from other people that there's been confirmation from Lindsay herself and from her rep that she's not pregnant. So just gonna throw that out there because I don't want to rip anybody's pregnancy announcement. But I know that the reason I'll talk about it now is because I know that there were other content creators that did talk about it publicly, but I did bring it up on a members only a few weeks ago. And I talked about how she has denied the rumors. Poor Kyle just seemed like he was backed into a corner and he was trying to give us the safe word. Oh, I know. Poor Kyle. Um, well, we have to be nice to her because she's pregnant. You should always be nice to a pregnant woman. Again, we don't know if she's pregnant, guys. I'm not listen. A pregnancy announcement is for the pregnant woman to announce on her own time when she's ready, if she's ready, whatever. I am not saying that I know she is pregnant. I'm saying that there were rumors. I heard the rumors and she has denied the rumors. So don't say that I'm saying she's pregnant. Do you think Victoria and Kyle were paid to do that interview? No. No. You think no. Baby, Jen Shaw wasn't even paid for that interview. Like, let's no. They were not paid for that interview. I try to be nice to everyone unless they just go that far. If you want to go that far, Kyle and Victoria should pay us, right? For wasting my damn time. Zach, what is your skincare regimen? Listen, I will say working out and sweating every day does really help a lot. I love Zach and I love Botox. I love Botox too. Botox is a game changer. I will tell you that. Botox is great. Filler is great. If you look at like photos and videos of me from like 3 years ago, you can see the difference in my face. Cause like filler here does so, I used to be so sunken in here. And just a little bit of filler. Thank you. Shout out to Dr. Jen Armstrong, who you guys remember from OC a couple of seasons ago. Shout out to Dr. Jen. Does Botox hurt? I mean, not really. Like they poke a needle in your face, but like it's like a little pinch. Doesn't really hurt. Depends on the injector. Um, your skin reflects light so well. Thank you. Nothing crazy with my skin though. I like some facial oils. I like good skincare. I put on a tinted SPF every day, so it kind of just balances everything out. Um, yeah. I don't have a crazy routine, but I will say the sweat does amazing work. When you sweat a lot, you're sweating all the toxins out, your cells get to replenish. So, yeah, I recommend it. Okay, that's all I got for you guys. I do my own Botox. What? Billie, you do your own Botox? That scares me. I mean, I'm glad it's working out for you, but that scares me. Ski ski, skirt skirt. Okay. Less than 20 cents per unit. Oof. I like your blonde hair better. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that as I no longer have my blonde hair. Telling me I look ugly. All right. Just kidding. On that note, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We have a comment on the Instagram. Should I watch Summer House? Is it worth the investment? It looks juicy right now. Summer House is good. I will say this is Summer House's best season in a really long time. It's good. But, like, Summer House has always I've enjoyed Summer House. I would say after season 3 is when it got the season that Paige joined the house is when it got good. Before that, when they had the Work as twins and stuff, it was fine, but it wasn't great. When Paige joined the show, that season is when it really started to get good. All right. I think that's all I got for you. Ciao for now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I will talk to you later. Have a good weekend. I'm going to go celebrate some family. We have a family graduation party today. So I'm going to have family time now. Okay. Did all the work. We're going to, let's keep it moving and grooving. All right. Have a good day. Love you. Mean it. Ciao for now. Bye. 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 Bye.